This is the Redragon K673 Pro, an insanely cheap wireless mechanical gaming keyboard, and I'm a little torn about it. I'll get this out of the way first. I don't think this is an amazing keyboard. I'll explain why in the course of this video, but it just isn't exactly premium. With that said, you can pick this bad boy up on Amazon, linked in the description of course, for just £65. For a wireless mechanical keyboard that you can hot swap the switches on, that really isn't bad, and goes a long way to negating any negatives that I might have about this board. So, now that we've done the conclusion, let me explain why I think that. This is an all-plastic board, both plastic upper and lower cases with no metal inner plate either, making it remarkably light and remarkably flexible. This has enough deck flex to resync the Titanic, at least when you've got it up on either of the two flick-out feet that you find on the otherwise perfectly flat base. That does affect the typing feel, although I would argue that it affects the sound profile even more. Have a listen. While I have definitely been spoiled by a myriad of premium keyboards recently that all fit this sort of description, I can't ignore the fact that this sounds, and to some degree feels, cheap. Even with the gasket design they're real proud of, this just isn't a premium board. Of course, they aren't pricing it as one either, so you can definitely go the extra mile with this yourself and stick in some more foam, rubber or metal in here if it bothers you. The keycaps do actually feel pretty nice. They aren't shine-through caps, which I definitely prefer, but they do have a very nice texture to them and have a fairly legible font too. They do also have all of the second layer functions as fairly hard to see icons. I would have preferred at least clearer designs and printing on those personally, but at least they're on the board themselves and not, in a manual that you have to look up and then memorize. As for the switches, those are Redragon's own MX style red switches, which feel about the same as any other red switch. That's to say, kind of naff, at least for me anyway. Although I could swear that these have a slightly higher actuation point than normal, something that I actually found a little annoying while gaming. Somewhat ironic, as that's meant to be a gaming-focused feature. They feel smooth enough, although the enter and backspace keys, especially with their stabilizers, make them feel honestly more like a membrane key rather than mechanical. Interestingly, they do include a set of 4 spare switches in the box, I guess as replacements in case any of the pre-installed ones fail. I don't know whether that's a good thing or not. I mean, is that, a good sort of repairability feature, or is that a warning sign that they at least expect 4 of them to fail and so they give you them so you don't have to handle the RMA process? Either way, you can just switch these all out with something of your own taste if you like, and again, for this price tag, well, that makes it a possibility. Oh, and of course you do have RGB lighting, specifically north-facing LEDs, but because the caps aren't shine-through, you don't get that much useful light out of them, although it is there if you want it. Layout-wise, it's all pretty sensible. You've got insert, delete, page up and page down as physical keys on a row on the right, while end, home, print screen, scroll lock are all second layer functions to the right of the main part of the keyboard. You do get a full set of arrow keys, which I love to see, and of course you have the knob, the big green knob. It's actually pretty nice. The rotary encoder under it is pretty notchy, and by default it will control volume, but if you hold the button at the bottom of the rotary encoder for 3 seconds, it swaps to control the RGB brightness on the keyboard, and then you hold it again to swap it back. That's pretty cool. If you're wondering about customization, sadly you can't use VIA. You have to use Redragon's own software tool, which is frankly even cheaper than the keyboard itself. It's just an image of the keyboard with a grid of ill-fitting squares over each key, so roughly aligned anyway, which you can then assign new functions to. The problem is that it doesn't show you what is already assigned to a key, and it also weirdly flashes the options part of the screen for every new key that you click on, like the bottom part of the window just flickers. It's weird. The rest of the app is pretty basic. Plus, it doesn't seem like you can update the firmware of the keyboard through the app itself, which is honestly one of the key reasons why I normally look for manufacturer-provided software like this, even if it's just for an initial firmware update and setup and then I uninstall it again. So, I mean, the app does work, but it's far from great or really even good, to be honest. The good news is that assuming you don't need to remap any keys, the board works pretty well, both wirelessly with the included 2.4 GHz dongle, which does have a little slot or home in the right-hand side of the board to keep it, and wired via the USB-C port that's on the left-hand side. You can also use the included USB-C cable, which has the built-in C to A adapter sort of stuck on the end, or use it with Bluetooth with up to 3 paired devices, should you fancy it. The one downside to running wirelessly is the latency. My open source latency testing tool reported that while using the included 2.4 GHz dongle, inputs took upwards of 24 milliseconds on average to report. That's really slow. And while keyboards generally aren't super latency sensitive devices, 24 milliseconds is really bad and can mean that you feel a little disconnected from your gaming experience, or worse, lose out because the board took too long to say crouch or sprint or reload. When connected via the USB-C cable though, it's all fine, and the latency is down in the 1 millisecond range. If you do end up using it wirelessly, you'll be eating into the 3000 mAh battery inside that Redragon are pretty excited to tell you about as part of the marketing materials here, which I find kind of funny because basically all of the other wireless mechanical keyboards that I've reviewed fairly recently all have 4000 or 4200 mAh cells, so 3000 is a bit of an undersell. Either way, it's plenty for a keyboard, especially with the lights off. As for actually gaming on the thing, well, it's safe to say that I was playing wired, and on the whole, it was decent enough. The deck flex wasn't an issue on WASD, and while the more hair-triggered switch annoyed me on the spacebar, for WASD it felt great. It was responsive, smooth, and easy to use. The only thing that I'll note is that especially the A key seemed to stick sometimes, as if it was being held down when it wasn't. Perhaps that's why they give you the 4 extra switches in the box, and maybe I should replace that one and maybe that problem will go away. But either way, other than that, there really weren't many problems and it actually felt pretty good to game on. As I said at the start, for £65, I'd have a really hard time arguing that this isn't a good deal. It's not a premium or super quality keyboard, but for that price, you can get your toes wet in the mechanical keyboard world and just upgrade it over time. If you're willing to splash more cash up front, boards from Keychron are my go-to, and I've actually got another review for one of those coming out very soon. Subscribe if you're interested. But if you just want something super cheap to get started that you can then upgrade later, this isn't too bad. Like I said, link in the description if you do want one. And of course, those are my thoughts, but I'd love to hear yours in the comments down below. What do you think of the Redragon K673 Pro? Is this a board for you, or would you rather splash it a bit more to get something a little bit more premium? Let me know in the comments. Like I said, if you want to check out that Keychron video that I've got coming up soon, or the plenty of other tech reviews that I do every Monday and Friday, and our live streams on Thursday nights, you can hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification icon. Also check out plenty of other videos in the end cards, including a load of keyboard reviews, including ones that I've done pretty recently. And if you want to be able to test stuff like keyboards and monitors and what's not stuff yourself, you can pick up my own hardware, the open source latency testing tool that I've used in this video, and the open source response time tool that I use for monitors and laptop reviews. That's at osrt.com, and that's linked in the description as well. Otherwise, that's kind of it. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you on the next video.